Welcome to this exciting tutorial on using AI for real-time translation. In today's globalized world, the ability to communicate across languages is becoming increasingly important. With the help of artificial intelligence, we can now create applications that translate spoken or written text in real time. In this tutorial, we'll walk through building our own real-time translation application using Java and an AI translation service. So grab your coffee and let's get started. We'll be using the Google Cloud Translation API in our application. This powerful API allows us to translate text in over 100 languages. Before we dive into coding, let's ensure we have everything set up properly. First, let's set up a Google Cloud project. You need to create a new project in the Google Cloud Console. Visit console.cloud.google.com and click on Select a Project. Now, click New Project. Give your project a name and click Create. Once your project is created, we need to enable the Google Cloud Translation API. Go to the API and Services section in the navigation panel. Click on Library, and in the search bar, type Cloud Translation API. Click on it, and then press the Enable button. Next, we need to create credentials for our application to use the API. Click on Credentials in the left menu. Then, click on the Create Credentials button and choose Service Account. Fill in the service account name and description. For project permissions, Editor is sufficient for now. After that, click Continue. Now, click Done to finish creating your service account. Next to your newly created service account, click Actions, 3 vertical dots, and select Manage Keys. Now click on Add Key and choose JSON. This will download a JSON file containing your credentials. Keep this file safe. You'll need it for your Java application. Now, let's set up our Java development environment. Make sure you have JDK installed on your machine. If you don't, visit oracle.com/java/JDK11-downloads.html to download it. We will also use Maven for dependency management. Create a new Maven project in your favorite IDE. Next, let's add the necessary dependencies to our pom.xml file. We will need the Google Cloud Translate library as well as others for handling JSON. Now, let's start coding. In the translationapp.java file, we will begin by initializing the Google Cloud Translate client. Make sure that the path to your JSON credentials file is specified correctly. In this snippet, we set the path to our JSON credentials and initialize the translate service. Make sure to replace path /to/your /credentials.json with the actual location of your JSON file. Next, let's add a method to translate text. We'll create a method named translate text that takes a string input and the target language as parameters. Here, we use the translate method from the translate service to perform the translation and return the translated text. Now, let's test our translation functionality. After running the application, you should see both the original text in English and its Spanish translation. You can test this with various phrases and languages, adjusting the target language parameter accordingly. To improve our application, let's add user input. We will modify our main method to read input from the console so that a user can enter any text they want to translate. Now, when you run the application, you'll be prompted to enter text for translation. After entering any text, it translates it into Spanish and prints the output. For our next feature, let's implement real-time translation. This involves continuously capturing audio input, converting it to text, and then translating that text. We can use the Java Sound API for capturing audio. In this code snippet, we set up an audio capture line with a specified format. Now let's modify this method to read audio input and convert it into a WAV file. Make sure you replace some condition with a suitable stopping condition like a specific key press. Your application will continuously read audio data and store it in a byte array. To process the audio and convert it to text, we will need a speech recognition service. For this, you can use Google's Speech-to-Text API. Similar to the Translation API, you'll need to set up a project and obtain credentials for this service as well. Once you have the credentials, you can set up the speech client just like we did with Translate. Here, we create a method recognize speech that uses Google's speech-to-text service to convert audio bytes into text. We specify the audio encoding, sample rates, and language codes. With audio captured and converted to text, we can easily translate this text right in our real-time translation function. Update the start recording method to use the recognize speech method and translate the recognized text instantly. This part of the code captures audio in real time and translates the recognized speech right away. You will likely want to improve how you handle end-of-speech detection, which you can accomplish through noise detection or specific user triggers. Now you have a powerful real-time translation application. You can keep tweaking the design, perhaps adding a user interface or supporting select languages dynamically. Let's quickly go over the technologies we used: Java for coding, Google Cloud Translation for text translation, Google Speech-to-Text for audio recognition, and Java Sound API for audio handling. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on building a real-time translation application using AI. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. If you have questions or suggestions, please leave comments below, and I'll be sure to read and respond. Until next time, keep coding.